Movies. We watch movies. You listen to us talk about movies that we watched without you.
It's beautiful.
Thanks. Now this is podcasting.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Super FilmsCast 64. This is the podcast where we talk about movies, films, moving pictures, cinema, and other things you can call them movies. Talkies. Pictures, the pitches, celluloids.
Spicy, fiery corn snack.
Yeah, that's what you can call them too. That's what Adam's got right now.
Oh, hell yeah.
Shoving his face with Cheetos, hot Cheetos. He's gonna gram that shit.
Yep. We got Chester Cheetah. He's spraying fire out of his mouth. That's how hot these are supposed to be.
When are we gonna get a Chester Cheetah movie? Chester Cheeto.
Ooh, good question. I guess we'll have to see how the Captain Crunch movie does.
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't done a breakfast cereal or I know
it's coming.
Yeah,
it's just a matter of time before.
Universe.
I mean, they're doing Uncle Drew, which is just a Pepsi ad.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, was that not in front of Black Panther for you?
You guys,
No.
They did do an animated food brand character movie. It's called Food Fight.
I've heard of that. I've heard of Food Fight.
And starring Charlie Sheen and Hilary Duff. It's amazing.
I hear it's pretty great.
Adam, you saw that. You watched
I did.
That.
Yeah,
with
it's
us.
the only movie that's made me physically ill.
We need to do reviews of terrible movies, I think. We need to stop doing all our dumb bets.
That's a good idea. A podcast reviewing and analyzing bad movies.
Yeah.
Why has no one thought of that yet?
I don't know. Why has no one thought about doing a movie podcast before? Especially with three white males.
We're the first.
We're the first ever.
And we did it the best.
It's the best. It is the best, I think.
The
And if you think it's the best, why don't you go over to iTunes and leave us a little review, a little 4 or 5 star review, and telling us why you think this is the best ever.
Or a 1, 2, or 3 star.
Don't
Whatever.
do that. Don't do that.
I don't think you will because we're so good.
Yeah.
Do that if you want.
Yeah.
You know what? Fucking do it.
Just do it.
I fucking dare you to give me a 1-star review.
Oh,
Yeah.
You think that it's gonna bring down my self-esteem? You think it's gonna ruin my self-worth? You piece of shit. You wouldn't dare. You little cuck. You're not even gonna dream of giving me 1 star.
You know, if I get if 1-star review is the worst thing that ever happened to me in my life, I've lived a pretty good life. You know.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
way worse things have already happened to me, so I don't even care. Do it. I've already been through hell and back.
Yeah. I've already lost everything.
You know what it's gonna be?
What?
Comeback SZN. Comeback season.
Comeback season, baby.
We on the way back up. You put us down, all it's
Moving
gonna
on
do
up.
is inspire us.
Just like the Jeffrey. You know what? My haters on my elevators.
That's exactly
Yeah,
it. Exactly.
As if I was just getting to the point where people would stop saying, "Oh, you know, you look kind of like Johnny Manziel." Just getting over that.
You don't look like Johnny Manziel.
I mean, I've gotten it enough to where, I think I do.
Your nose is like my hair. Everyone who has a big nose, they say you look like them, and everyone who has curly hair looks like me.
I don't look like Johnny Manziel.
No, you don't. He
by
just
the
has a
nose,
big nose.
So why are you even talking about my nose?
Oh, I don't know.
It's the rest of my face that looks like
You don't look
Johnny.
like Johnny Manziel.
I mean, it's okay.
Johnny Manziel's nose is big in a different way.
Oh,
Yeah.
all that cocaine?
Yeah.
All
His
that cocaine?
nostrils all
Yeah.
big and bloody.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I thought I was over that. Nope. He's coming back, so it's just going to be
You
another
look like Johnny
15 years.
Manziel.
Johnny Manziel.
See, I used to get Justin Timberlake back in the day.
Yeah.
In my youth.
when you did you have the ramen noodle hair?
Yeah.
I did. Everyone had bleached hair back then, yeah.
One of my favorite Spencer stories is it was Spencer's like first night drinking, maybe. And we went to this volleyball bar, and we played beach volleyball, and we had too many people on our side, so Spencer played on another team, and he was like kind of buzzing and played horribly. And they all mocked him and called him Colt McCoy the whole game.
Yeah, I do not look like Colt McCoy. That was just racism. I'm calling it what it is.
Mhm.
Coming up on today's show,
Whoa, hey, who are we talking to right now? We got Adam Fullerton and
this is a
Spencer Hall.
radio
Yeah.
professional. Yeah,
This is a very
Yeah.
professional show.
You got Johnny Manziel on the podcast.
You got Johnny Manziel, you got Mick Lovin, and you got Jonah Hill here on the podcast.
the whole gang,
The whole gang.
the trifecta. Today we're going to talk a little bit of what we've been watching.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do some news, including Jordan Peele's next movie.
yeah, I saw
What's it
that.
going to be about?
What's that story?
And then we'll talk about Black Panther, obviously the biggest movie ever.
Mhm.
And which one of us, Trey or I, is going to be saying dilly dilly during a second showing?
I really want to apologize to Chris Tapia, who's not listening, but he is a board op for our Sunday show, Work in Progress, the show, not the podcast.
Mm.
That is another deal. But the show on Sundays at the Ticket, he plays the dilly dilly drop, and I turn around and I go, "Don't you fucking ever play that drop ever again!" just like it was instinctually, and I had to apologize. I'm just like, I'm sorry, I hate that so much.
I don't think you had to apologize.
No, I
Probably.
felt bad. I felt bad.
Anyways,
I was being mean.
Yeah. So
Anyway.
so speaking of,
Yeah.
you've been feeling bad. What have you been watching?
Well, Spencer, I haven't watched that much this week. And I don't even need to look at my phone because I can tell you.
whoa, you just know it off the dome?
I watched. Oh, man.
He was so confident.
Doesn't-
I was
he's-
confident.
he's-
Trey needs some of these one-star reviews.
His phone is on the table. His hand is on the table, and his hand is kind of inching towards the phone.
Not even here on the table. It's in my pocket. What was the one of the ones that you recommended? Let me find it.
I recommended Cheap Thrills.
Cheap Thrills is what I watched. And, man, that movie left a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah,
Like, it was
man.
good,
It's
but it's freaking gross.
yeah. That's all it is. It's people
Oh.
mutilating themselves.
It was disgusting.
Yeah.
I've never been that. I guess I've seen a lot of horror movie. I don't know. I think it was that one scene in particular that really grossed me out.
Which one?
The dog.
Yeah.
And
that's
they had
pretty
a-
gross.
They had to. It was. Adam would have loved it because he hates dogs. It's
Ooh,
not even. It wasn't
I'ma
even the dog. It
watch
could
this
have been
movie.
anything. It could have been like, oh, this is a delicious hamburger, but the way they presented it and all, it was the grossest thing. And I hate the sound of people eating, and that's what it was. And that was the worst thing in the world. It was disgusting. It was interesting. It was an interesting movie.
Yeah.
How
That's
does
safe.
how does it rank up against Click Cut?
Clit cut?
Yeah,
never seen
Bean
Click Cut.
slice.
bean slice.
Oh, not as gross as that. No, that's a whole nother level.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's like some sadistic level shit. I mean, this is pretty sadistic, but it's not as sadistic.
Mm.
And freaking Champ was really good in it. I always forget
Dave
his name.
Koechner.
Yeah, I always forget his name, but he was really good in it. He kind of played that kind of howdy kind of guy he plays, but he played it very. He was a very dark character. You felt like there was something going on the whole time. He was really good in it, I thought. It was an interesting movie, definitely. And I mean, I'd say give it a watch if you don't have anything else to do.
It's on Netflix.
It is on
Mhm.
Netflix. And then I saw Black Panther. And I've also been watching Dragon Ball Z Kai.
Oh,
Yeah. And it is the condensed version of Dragon Ball Z. I think it's like 160 episodes from like 200 out of like 200 or something. They edited it down. They took out all the episodes where they're powering up for 10 episodes, and it's well paced. It's like I remember it, as a kid watching it. It's not as stupid and silly as I thought it was going to be. There's definitely silly parts, but it's not as I thought it would be very cringeworthy rewatching it, but not really. It's fine.
So considering that you cut out about 6 movies out of your watching habits, how many episodes into Dragon Ball Kai?
I've been pacing myself because I'm kind of following this podcast they're kind of rewatching it. It's the giantbomb.com. They do a lot of different podcasts, and then 2 of their guys, Jeff Gershman and Dan Reichert, are after Dragon Ball Z Dragon Ball Fighter Z came out, they kind of wanted to watch Dragon Ball Z because they never have. So they've been kind of going 5 episodes a week. So 5 episodes, 20 episodes each, 20 minutes each.
Right.
For 5, it's not too bad.
Gotcha.
You know, so I haven't really been watching like a ton of it. It's just pacing myself. I don't know what I even did this week. I couldn't tell you.
You had ticket stuff.
Yeah, stuff.
Trey had big work stuff to do. So
and you killed it.
Oh, thank you.
yeah,
Thank you guys for coming.
Yeah, Trey, you were like #1 biggest hit.
I don't know about. I think
of Friday at least.
I think Jer was probably up there as biggest hit, and George was probably really great too.
Yeah, but those are the people. You expect them to have a big role or whatever, and you showed up, you did your role, and everybody loved it.
I appreciate it, man. I do appreciate it. Turning you up there a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. It was fun, but I guess so. I did watch Split last night. Movie Split.
Oh yeah, how'd you like Split?
I liked it a lot, especially with the end reveal. I guess we could talk about that. I mean, it's not really a. It's been out for a year.
It's been
right?
a year, yeah.
So it's part of the Unbreakable universe,
right? And I haven't seen Unbreakable, which I know it's supposed to be one of a better superhero
probably
movie.
my favorite of Shyamalan's movies.
Oh, okay.
Probably. I would say, without seeing a lot of them recently, I've not seen Sixth Sense in a long time. I've not seen Signs in a long time. I didn't watch The Village. But I would say that was probably the most up my alley.
Okay.
I like Chronicle, so I like those kind of alternative superhero movies, I guess. Yeah.
So Split, it's about James McAvoy who kidnaps a bunch of girls, and he has a bunch of different split personalities, and some of them you can reason with, and other ones you can't, and so it's just kind of a really cool acting, display of acting by James McAvoy, and I think it's just kind of a really cool concept.
Yeah, and the girl from The Witch is in there, and she was really good. I didn't realize that was the same girl from The Witch. She's got very stunning eyes, They're kind of sad. She's really good at playing that kind of character. And yeah, I thought it was very interesting. I could see how a lot of I think there was a little too much explanation on the, I guess, symptom or the disease he had, or I guess that could even get into sort of territory of, okay, we're making disabilities superpowers, sort of cliche thing, but I enjoyed it. It was really neat. It was a fun movie to watch. I don't think they needed to explain it that much, but I guess maybe they kind of did, just to kind of explain the rules of it. But yeah, it was a fun movie. I enjoyed it. It was a little Silence of the Lambs-y, which was really good, but not too heavy on that. It's not. It's not as it's not as gory, I would say.
No.
Yeah.
But overall, it's just kind of like a fun movie.
It's fun. Yeah,
it's not.
Fun.
It's if you have it available, I would suggest watching it.
Yeah.
It's not something that you absolutely have to rush out and see.
Where are we on M. Night Shyamalan nowadays? Because I feel like, with Signs and with I guess Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, and Signs, he was on top of his game.
Right.
And I know The Village, it's kind of had a resurgence nowadays. People are kind of rewatching it and realizing it's not that bad of a movie. But then he had Avatar, and for a while he couldn't even put his name on a movie anymore. So where are we with Shyamalan? Is he kind of having a resurgence? Is he still kind of untouchable? I don't know.
I think he's mostly back as far as some credibility. I don't think I'm not sure if he'll ever be back to huge budget movies.
Yeah.
Right.
But I do think as far as some clever storytelling, I think he's reestablished some credibility.
Because I think he was I think after Signs and Unbreakable, it was so, you expected the twist, and with Signs, it was sort of did I say Signs or Sixth Sense? I meant Sixth Sense and Unbreakable. You expected a big twist. And with Signs, there was a kind of a twist. I kind of like the build up more on Signs and the actual.
Well,
ending.
I mean, that was his thing, is that then all of a sudden everything had to have a twist.
Yeah, exactly.
And everything, and so the bit became stale.
Yeah.
And now then he kind of did other things like Last Airbender, which was garbage.
Yeah.
And so now he's kind of building it back up and doing his own thing. I think there is a twist at the end of Split.
At the very end.
At the very
I mean,
end.
yeah. I think that's a really good one.
Yeah.
And, I would like to see another movie in that universe. Give me that.
And-
I wouldn't mind that.
And before that was I'm not sure if there was a movie between, but The Visit.
Yeah, you've
Mhm.
talked about The Visit.
Yeah, where there is a twist,
Okay.
and but it's still pretty good.
Okay. But yeah, that's what I've been watching.
Spencer, what about you?
I watched 3 movies this week.
Hmm.
I watched Black Panther.
Mm.
I saw. Oh gosh, let me pull it up. I'm blanking right now.
I saw Black Panther too. I don't know if I mentioned
Oh,
that.
I watched Young Frankenstein,
Okay.
which I thought was very good. You guys said that it has the best joke ever in a
It has-
movie.
There's 2 jokes that are.
Is Abby Normal one of them? Because that was probably
No.
my favorite.
It's the hump, right?
Well,
What
there's
hump?
there's the
There's
the,
a lot of good jokes.
The
Yeah.
knockers is generally
Oh.
one, and then the horse.
Yeah, the horse.
Okay.
the
The
running joke.
recurring
Yeah.
horse
So-
bit is
My dad thinks that's because Frau, right? Her name was Frau, or
yeah, it's
because
Yeah.
she likes horse penis.
n-
That's
I-
why. My dad
no.
is convinced
that-
that's why.
That's not why.
The horse yells. And I had to tell him, no, it's not.
No, I don't
That's
think
just your
that's
fucking
it.
60-year-old Chicago douchebag mind thinking that. That's not how it really is.
Yeah, but that movie is just like such a showcase for just being clever. It's
Yeah,
it's very much joke driven, and
Yeah.
all the jokes
Yeah.
are really hilarious.
it's like the Mel Brooks style.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
at its best,
And
I
Yeah.
would say.
Yeah.
For
I
sure.
love the little dance number towards the end,
Yeah.
too. Yeah. That's so good.
Wait, what is I can't remember how the monster sounds. Trey, do you remember? No, when they're doing the dance number.
Like
But
that?
what's the song they're singing?
Putting on the Ritz, right?
Put it
Yeah.
on the Ritz, yeah.
But how does the monster say it?
I don't know what he says. What does he say? I forgot.
He says, "I was trying to get you to say put it on the Ritz as the monster."
Oh,
Yeah, he's really.
Yeah. Yeah, really like that. And then
you know
I
who the
watched.
monster is, right? That's the dad and everybody loves Raymond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm trying to. Is he that big?
I'm sure they used. I don't know. You never seen that big. Just check and see how tall.
Well,
he
he's
is.
next to Robert,
Gene
who
Wilder.
is
Yeah.
He's very small.
well, I'm talking in Everybody Loves Raymond.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Robert is enormous.
Yes, he's
Yeah.
a big man.
Um,
That might have been like the last show my family watched together.
that's
Oh,
kind
no.
of.
Not to make
That's
it sound like
sad.
depressing,
That's
but like
so sad.
But like no, like you know, I
Oh.
don't remember watching like shows with my family. Like we never went and sat down and I mean I'm sure we did, but like that's the one I remember. Like everybody sat down and watched that show
because
you know?
everybody loved it.
Yeah, everybody loves Raymond, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah.
That show was so big that Chris Rock did a show basically in the entire like
Just-
There,
it
yeah,
was just everyone hates Chris.
exactly.
Like that's how big Everyone Loves Raymond was.
hmm
I have like a document where I keep ideas that I have for like comedy bits and stuff. And one time I woke up at 3 a.m. and I had this perfect idea. And I was like, oh, I got to write this down. And so I went and I wrote it down. I went back to sleep. And I was like, this is going to kill. I woke up. I checked my phone because I was like, what was that idea that I had? Because I remembered I woke up. And it was just Everybody Loves Raymond reunion. Now Raymond is hacker.
I'm sure
I
it was
thought
a-
it was
I'm sure it was
hilarious.
an awesome dream. and then,
In
yeah.
my-
I mean, say no more.
In my head, I was like,
Hell yeah.
this is the perfect joke.
I'm calling the network guys.
Yeah.
I love how he was a sports writer and never left his house ever.
Doesn't have to.
Yeah, I guess.
He's got computer.
Yeah.
Speaking of, now he's a hacker.
Yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
Hey, you know, I
Uh,
never left my house, even though
I was studying coding.
Oh, that's great. All right, so I'm glad you like Young Frankenstein.
Yeah, Young Frankenstein was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And then Lexi and I watched Fury yesterday, the Brad Pitt feature.
Yeah, where he's like Tank Man.
Tank Commander. Did y'all see it?
I did not.
Well, heck, I'm gonna recommend y'all watch that this week.
That's
'cause
with
It's Shia LaBeouf.
Right, Mutt
Shia
Williams.
LaBeouf?
Yeah, it's got Mutt. It's got the guy who plays Punisher. He was in Walking Dead. He's in so many things.
Oh, that dude, yeah.
Yep.
I know who you're talking about.
And then, God, who else is it? It's got Michael Pena.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's got a lot of cool guys. And yeah, basically, it's historical fiction, but it's based on true people, kind of inspired by. But Brad Pitt's a tank commander. They're in Germany, and it just follows him and his tank as Brad Pitt kind of leads these these other tanks on a series of missions throughout Germany. And dude, it's really, I don't want to, since I'm encouraging y'all to watch it, I'm not going to spoil too much, but it's awesome. As far as the brutality, there's a ton of really cool brutality. And it gets off pretty start, kind of sets the pretty good start, sets the tone as far as what are they going to show you in this movie. And I'm not going to say too much.
Does he scalp some Nazis?
No, but he does play that sort of military. He's not quite as over the top with his southernness.
Old Shucksy, yeah.
But he's definitely putting it on a little bit.
Aldo Rain.
Yeah, but yeah, this is a pretty cool movie.
Okay.
And it's got Shia LaBeouf, which is it's got Mutt Williams in it. So
all I need.
Yeah, that's what I've been watching.
Cool.
I watched a few.
Yeah, you did.
I was waiting on my car to get fixed, so I had some time to watch some movies. I watched 50 Shades Darker because I enjoyed 50 Shades Freed. I was like, this movie is bad and it's fun, and it's not in the same way that Fast and the Furious is, because Fast and the Furious I legitimately enjoyed.
That's like an 80s
more
Schwarzenegger movie.
Right. So I was like, maybe this 50 Shades franchise is just one that I haven't looked at yet, and this is great. And like 50 Shades Darker is just a little bit better, and it takes all the fun out of it.
Yeah.
So like, if you're gonna watch a 50 Shades movie, watch 50 Shades Freed. I watched Boogie Nights.
How'd you like that? I know that's on your recommendation.
Yeah, that's still on my list.
I still have Seven Samurai, Princess Bride, and Pee-wee to watch on mine. So yeah.
Yeah, Boogie Nights is really good. It's so Mark Wahlberg. There's so much Mark Wahlberg in it, and I love it just because Mark Wahlberg's ridiculous. And then I also like at the very end, spoiler Spencer, but not really. You see his penis at the end.
Oh, hell
and
yeah.
it's like there's this big reveal. Like, we've been talking about this penis the whole movie, and then it's like the big end is that, oh, we finally get to see this penis, which is
so small.
It's not like what you want in the movie at all, but it's literally the last shot of the movie.
It's a fine penis, though. It's not like abnormally.
Oh no, it's a huge penis.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Ah.
I had watch that movie for sexuality, politics, and gender class. It was like the only movie on the list that I would want to watch.
Yeah.
I'm like, Boogie Nights. Yeah, I don't want to watch any of this other stuff.
Wait, so I wonder if Paul Thomas Anderson, while casting, was like,
I think it's a prosthetic.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
fake
it's a
dong.
prosthetic.
Oh, it's like abnormally big?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, that's the whole point of the movie is that he's just like this kid with this massive peen.
Yeah.
So, but it's not like just like nice, impressive dong. It's like comically big.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Then I watched Abacus, which is the documentary. It's up for an Oscar about a small Asian bank that was the only one to get indicted in their fight in the housing collapse of 2008 and their fight against the government. It's good. It's not super great. Like, it's a crazy story, and the family is all kind of super smart and interesting and stuff, but it's not, if you're not into documentaries, it's not super engaging.
I mean, did the bank deserve to be indicted? Like,
no. There's one bad guy who worked at the bank who did some real shady things, and then the people that were lending also kind of did some, or not lending, but getting money, also did a little bit of lying. But the people at the top of the bank didn't deserve it, and you know what? They didn't end up getting charged. So
Oh, well.
they get off at the end.
As
So
they
there
all
you
do.
go. Yeah, so no banks. No, nothing goes through. And then I watched Green Room, which is a movie from a few years ago about a punk rock band who goes to this show and they perform and there's like no one there. And the guy's like, I have a better place for you to go where you can like actually make some money. It's my cousin's or whatever. And so they go there, and it's just like this secret Nazi bar, essentially. And so they go and they perform there, and they're like, all right, we got to get out. And one of them leaves their phone in the green room, and they go back in, and they see someone dead on the green room floor. And so then they get locked in the green room and not allowed to leave, and it's kind of a standoff between them and the Nazis.
Nazis.
It's really interesting. I texted Trey during the beginning, and I was like, I'm super in on this because it seemed really cool. And then as the movie went on, it got kind of less cool. Patrick Stewart is in it. He's the Nazi leader.
Oh, that's interesting.
And at one, he's not doing any different kind of voice or anything, but at one point he says y'all, and it's very disturbing.
Really? Yeah, no sir should ever say y'all.
Yeah. So
y'all.
It's pretty good. It's on Amazon Prime if you want to watch that. Cool. So is Abacus. And then I watched the Black Panther and then the Florida Project I watched last night. And it's really, really good. I'm kind of disappointed that it only got Willem Dafoe.
What's the story of the Florida? That name is really, it sounds like a documentary. I thought that's what it was the first time I heard of it.
Yeah, so it's about this girl is the main character, this little 6-year-old girl, and it's her and her mom living together in a hotel, which basically serves as like a housing project, the Florida Project. Okay. And they live right next to Disney World and all this stuff, but they're incredibly poor, and so she just has to go on these own little adventures, and it's shot through the eyes of a 6-year-old, basically. So she's just surrounded by all this shitty, terrible situations in her life, but she goes and is like making
kind of
the best of it. It's not really fantasy. It's just
like kind of like maybe fantastical images come up, like it's her imagination.
No. Okay. No. It's just her just enjoying living life with what she has because like she doesn't really know any different, essentially. And it's really good. The kids are really good in it, and it's not in like in Room, where Jacob Tremblay is a really good like child actor and he delivers his lines really well. This, it's almost just like they kind of let the kids talk like kids, where they just have like random thoughts as they enter in different places, and nothing really is connected, but they're kids, and that's the way that kids act, and so it's very real. The mom is really, really good in it. And Sean Baker, the director, found her on Instagram just as someone she was doing something kind of weird to keep in contact with her friends because she moved away from wherever she lived. And he was just like, hey, you want this movie role? And she's really good. And she's kind of like this, like prostitute mom who, has to do what it takes. And it's,
what does William Dafoe play?
He is the hotel manager who is like the kids are constantly, giving him trouble. And
he's like the Mr. McGregor of the
kinda
the rabbits.
From Peter Rabbit.
Yes.
But he like obviously cares for them and cares for the mom almost like she's his daughter.
Oh, okay.
But it's like, I gotta run this thing and do all this stuff.
Sure.
It's pretty good. It's hard to explain, but it's kind of like a real slice of life.
Do you think the
movie.
name of the movie, or am I too hung up on the name of the movie? Do you think the name of the movie? Okay.
I don't
know
not
why.
Really
it just doesn't. Documentaries are great. It just doesn't sound like a movie. It sounds like a doc. With just the name, the Florida Project. I don't know. Maybe they could have named it a better name, but maybe I'm just hung up on that.
I think
I want to see it. It sounds good.
You have to rent it right now, or if you're Trey,
rent it.
Rent it.
Yeah,
of course.
Yes. Mm-hmm. All right. I guess that's all the movies.
It's all the movies. Yeah.
All right.
Moving on to news. I'm going to save the Black Panther news. Obviously, that's the biggest news, but we'll save it for the end so we can kind of have a little transition.
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars Episode 9 hired Blade Runner art director for the new thing.
Yeah. Okay.
A lot of these are just kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Star Wars isn't, I mean, if they're going to go with that aesthetic, cool, but that's not really what it is.
Well, it doesn't need to have the same aesthetic,
No.
but just someone who's clearly pretty tasteful.
Yeah.
Pretty talented.
True.
Cloverfield Paradox.
Stop it with Cloverfield. I'm done with Cloverfield. After that, I'm done.
5 million views in 7 days.
Oh, of course.
On Netflix.
Of course it did.
Well, now what would that translate to?
In dollars, I was trying to figure it out.
I mean, let's just call it $12 a ticket.
Right. So, I mean, that's
$60 million.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's
So
way
they
more
made-
people saw it than would have seen it.
Yeah.
I think
Of
that's
course.
safe to say.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is Cloverfield, it had like that whole big campaign or whatever at the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Bright, the Will Smith movie, it got 11 million views in the first 3 days.
What do you think that is?
I think Will Smith has more
Yeah.
general appeal than
Yeah. There was
random
the star
Cloverfield
power. Yeah.
thing. But yeah, I don't really get that. And
I think part of I think one that speaks to you mean the power of like a legitimate marketing campaign. I mean clearly like Cloverfield Paradox still did fine.
Right.
That's still good, but having a real marketing campaign behind it and being in front of people for several weeks before launch, as well as having actual star power, you're gonna get more views.
And I think there are people that do really like Bright.
Yeah. There definitely are. It has a strangely
cool
high
following.
Rotten Tomatoes audience score.
Mhm.
Oh, I think the director of Bright directed Fury.
Okay.
I thought that's what I was reading.
Really?
David Ayers.
Because he did Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's definitely not Suicide Squaddy, or I didn't watch Bright.
Mhm.
It's pretty well.
that's also Max Landis' script too. Is probably the problems with it.
It
seems like
definitely doesn't help.
And it also, I think also is a lot of. I bet you it's a lot of Will Smith too, interjecting things.
Bug lives don't
I
matter.
think that was like his improv line, right?
I don't know.
I think it may
what I've heard.
have been. I don't know. Jordan Peele says his next movie is shooting this year. He's writing it right now. He said tonally it's going to be like Get Out,
Okay.
but he wants to focus on something besides race.
Gender.
Could be.
Maybe.
Maybe it's an MRA movie that we've all been waiting for.
MRI movie?
It's
Called
about time.
The Red Pill.
Red Pill, the movie.
Yeah. No. Hey. I want to see anything he does. I'll watch.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Wasn't he also rumored to be doing like
Akira.
Twilight Zone?
Yeah. That's what I heard. There was a rumor he was going to do the Akira movie, but he declined. That movie's in limbo. They don't need to make an Akira.
I mean, I don't know anything about Akira, so.
That's going to be your recommendation for this.
Oh, what if I just? I don't know if I have interest in watching that.
Okay, you don't have to watch it.
I'm just being honest with you.
All right. Well, I don't have any interest in watching Pee Wee.
That's
Whoa.
fine. You
Yeah.
don't have.
Fight.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, clearly you haven't watched it. That's fine. It's just a recommendation.
All right. Jerk.
Pee Wee's a better movie than that.
Go ahead. Oh, we'll fight right now.
Go ahead, Adam.
We talk about movies mostly, but sometimes we talk about TV shows.
Oh,
We sure do.
the shorter medium.
Mm-hmm. Family Guy is finally going to address Stewie's sexuality in a March episode.
Oh God! Finally,
It's about
they already
time.
did.
We
Didn't
got
they
to
already
find
do
out
it?
what this baby's gets off to.
he's not even
It's
old enough to
so-
decide.
Yeah, he's like a little baby, and it used to just be a mass murder, and they just kind of turned him into, kind of a very a swishy character. Kind of a stereotype, a horrible stereotype. Disgusting. I don't like it one bit.
You're disgusted by that baby.
I'm disgusted. No, no, it's didn't they already do that like 3 times? Like there was an episode where he's like, man, I wish I could just, hang out with guys and just like spend time with them, and it's like, and Brian was like, well, that's what being gay is. He's like, oh, that's what it is? Oh, I'd be down for that. That was the whole episode. I thought that was it.
Well, we have to see what's happening in March.
Yep.
Gotta
Right.
tune in to that
Okay.
gay Stewie family.
Gay
guy.
Stewie.
Must
Family
watch.
Guy,
I
'cause
did
he's
not know Family Guy was still on
Me
air.
neither.
It's-
If you, yeah,
Rolling strong.
man. Okay.
Okay.
People still set their DVRs for Family Guy.
Yep. And The Simpsons. Simpsons has been going on for forever.
Yes.
People still watch. Freaking 30 or what is the one where it's all pop culture references with Bazinga,
Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang Theory. People watch that crap.
Yeah, because that's hilarious.
Okay, Spencer, coming from the guy that likes Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
A well-regarded movie.
I think we're gonna fight by the end of the show.
Do
me
it.
and you.
Do it.
Well, you're picking it. You're picking a fight. What's going on, Adam? What else you got?
Black Panther. Let's get to Black Panther.
Oh, yeah. I want to hear this news.
Black Panther made $201 million,
Mm-hmm.
the 5th highest opening weekend of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Second biggest behind the Avengers.
I didn't say which Avengers. I didn't say which Avengers. It beat Avengers: Age of Ultron.
I said
Wait,
I
what do you? It beat the movie.
Avengers.
Oh, never mind. No. I was mistaking Age of Ultron with something else. But no, Trey, you lost.
Yeah. You did get close because
You said it was going to be the highest-grossing Marvel movie.
I said more than Avengers.
I'm pretty sure you
Yeah.
said Marvel movie.
it
I
was highest
said
grossing
highest
Marvel
grossing
movie.
in general, not opening weekend.
Trey, you friggin' lost,
No.
bro.
No, that's not what you said.
We
We'll
can check the tape.
Check the tape
Check it.
If
because
you-
I definitely said multiple times opening weekend. Trey, you're gonna have to watch that movie again. You're
I
gonna
have to watch
have
it
to say
again?
dilly dilly.
Trey, you're going to sit by yourself. Adam and I are going to sit next to each other in a
Can you
different
come with
row.
me, Spencer?
Yeah, we're going to go watch you
All right.
embarrass yourself. That'd be amazing.
All right.
Well,
You're going to dilly when
I know exactly when I want him to do
When?
it.
When he
well, we can I don't want to know. We'll get past the spoiler
do when he
screen
jumps on the
before we
car.
mention it.
when he jumps on the car.
No,
When he jumps
No.
on the car, what
Yeah.
the hell? No.
no, that's
You're trying to think of when you want to do it. Like that's not when you're going to do
Cool
it.
time to say it.
This
But-
is great.
it is kind of like I was getting nervous because it outdid things on Friday and
Yeah.
outdid things on Saturday, and I was I was convinced it was going to be big, and then the Sunday numbers came out and it was 192 million, and they were like, okay, that's set, and then today they were like, no, correction, 201 million. And so it's only 6 million less than the
Yeah.
Avengers.
It's pretty amazing.
That is pretty amazing.
That's a huge showing because
So I wasn't totally off base. And
I would say that the fuel behind the idea of the bet was correct.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
you still got to say dilly dilly.
I'm fine with that. I pay off my debt, Spencer.
Yeah.
Why you? Well, I paid off all of my debts. I watched.
I'm just being mean.
I mean, I've only lost one because I'm really
Yeah.
good at games. But
Ooh. Star Wars: The Force Awakens was the biggest of all time, 247 million.
Yeah.
So the 4-day weekend, they're expecting Black Panther to be like $235 million, which is super impressive, but it gets even crazier when you compare it. That is more than Justice League made in its whole run.
Jeez.
Like, that's insane to think about.
Yeah.
Because
I mean,
Justice
Marvel
League was...
just has that thing to it, like
yeah.
it really does.
and I mean, DC has like such the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
DC's whole aura is, oh, these movies have all been really bad,
Mm-hmm.
but people are like, even if like you or I or disagree on if any of these Marvel movies are good, people still like them.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think they're all kind of similar, and they all kind of have that. And they all have that thing about them where you're either gonna love them, hate them, or
or somewhere
or
in between.
God, I saw myself
There are
falling into
three
it, and I was
types
just
of
like,
people.
oh, Jesus Christ.
You either love it, you hate it,
Or somewhere
or
in
you
between.
know you just somewhere in the middle there.
All right, that was terrible. I'm going to fucking kill myself.
Justice League, though, even for what it was the 10th biggest movie of last year. So it's not like Justice League did poorly.
No.
One of the big things about DC is everybody goes opening weekend, and then there's a huge drop off after that. Another issue that people talked about with having a majority black cast is that it doesn't do well in foreign markets. That was an argument that was thrown out. It was the 15th largest global weekend of all time. I want you guys to guess what the number one global movie.
It's Transformers something.
I think it. I know Triple X is up there.
You're close.
Is it Fate of the Furious?
It's Fate of the
Fate
Furious.
of the Furious.
Yeah, Fate of the Furious is the number one
And
global
that does
opening
not
movie.
have
of all
a
time.
all-white cast.
No, so
That's like
Triple X
Right.
was a big, and Fate of the Furious is big because they get international stars in these movies.
Right.
Like, and it's for that reason. They know that international markets will come out because their stars are in it.
Yeah. So that argument's kind of stupid then.
I would say so.
Do you have where Triple X was on that?
I don't know.
Is
It
it
wasn't
pretty high.
I don't think it was in the top 10.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it was. I'll take your word for it.
I'm pretty sure it did well because they had the guy who was in Rogue One. He was the Jedi.
Right.
But yeah, Trey, you were gonna dilly.
What part am I going to dilly-dilly at?
Should we enter the spoiler zone?
No, let's wait. We'll wait until we get into the movie review.
Okay.
And once we go enter into spoiler zone, then we'll say when. You guys see the stuff with the trolls? The trolls who
I was made that
saying they were
joke on-
being jumped.
Did you believe me on the text thread?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
All right. I
So-
didn't think so.
People on Twitter are saying that I got jumped by people who are saying this movie isn't for me. And it's always all of them. They're
Black
like,
youths.
hey, Whitey, this movie isn't for you. Or
How do they even know they're going to see Black Panther if they're just outside the theater?
because they got their tickets and the angry black youths didn't. They didn't use the trench coat maneuver that
And it's like all the pictures they show are like they'll do Google searches and it's like
Right.
some other story or other article.
Yeah, it'll be just like the very first thing when you look up bloody paper towel
Yeah.
or a photo of a guy beat up outside of a nightclub for a porn star's
Yeah.
birthday, or pictures of White House Staff Secretary Rob Porter's wife.
Stuff that cannot be disproven.
I think the Rob Porter stuff is like a pretty good meta joke.
Mhm.
The other stuff, it's like, what are you doing? Why do that? I went and I looked at some of their Twitter accounts from the people that did that and just looked through some of their other tweets. It's just people.
Oh,
just-
sure. Yeah.
They're just trying to rile people up.
Right. They have no real sense of humor, so they get joy out of just being little
Getting on
shits.
Breitbart.
Yeah, dude. They're bright farts.
Yeah.
So at the box office, Black Panther, obviously number one, 201 million. Peter Rabbit came in second, 17.2 million. 50 Shades.
People, I guess, weren't that upset by the whole food allergy thing.
Right,
controversy.
exactly. 50 Shades, 16.9 million. Jumanji in fourth, 7.9 million. Now has made $900 million worldwide. It cost $90 million to make.
It's a hoax. It's all a hoax.
Yeah.
So I win, right?
Uh,
I thought I had 50 Shades higher.
we all went Black Panther and then 50 Shades.
Oh, okay.
And then you picked Early Man third.
Oh, yeah.
Early Man came in seventh at 3.1 million. I was reading about it because people were like, yeah, this wasn't going to do great, but how did it bomb this hard? it's supposed to be just like a day in the life of a caveman as he goes to watch a soccer game or something like that. So like, there's almost no appeal for American audiences for this.
I was really banking on like parents wanted to take their kids to a movie. Black Panther was sold out or something, but that did not happen.
Yeah, they went to go see Jumanji instead.
Uh-huh.
So Trey, you had Early Man, and I had Jumanji.
Oh,
So that's 3 weeks in a row for me. I'm on a roll.
Dang. So what's the count now?
So it is Adam 4, Spencer 2, Trey 1. This week.
Not last.
This week we have Annihilation coming out.
Cool.
That's the Natalie Portman movie from the guy who did Ex Machina.
Mm-hmm.
Every Day. Did you guys have that trailer in front of?
Oh, it looks terrible. It's
which
like
one's Every Day?
I think I saw that just before I came here. It's a girl who falls in love with the same guy in a different body every day.
Yeah.
I saw like
And just is going on dates.
Right.
it's like 50
And
First
so-
Dates.
Yeah, basically, except you're
His body.
physically in a different body. So they remember everything, but the person wakes up and every day they're in a different
Would you
person's
do that?
body.
Okay.
Be in a different body every day?
It seems like torture.
No, my body's pretty great, so I would not risk it.
I would totally do it because nothing can be worse than this body.
Oh.
Oh, train.
And then Game Night, which is the Jason Bateman.
Yeah, I saw a preview for that.
My parents are definitely going to see that movie.
There was one funny scene in the trailer when what's his face from Breaking Bad, Meth Damon was sort of like in the door being kind of creepy. It was funny. That movie looks dumb.
Yeah, it looks pretty stupid.
Yeah.
I'm taking Black Panther first.
Woohoo!
Dang.
That's,
Going out on a limb.
I'm taking Black Panther.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here this time. I say,
Huh?
people get really upset
Huh?
when they go see Black Panther.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I'm going to take Game Night second.
Really?
I am.
I am going to take Annihilation, whatever.
Ooh.
I'm gonna take Annihilation.
Okay.
I'm gonna be with Spencer here.
All right. So now it's up to you guys.
I'll take Game Night.
I'll take Peter Rabbit.
All right. So there we go. Our box office challenge. Now, Trey, you say
Yeah.
you have a game.
So I was on Box Office Mojo, and I was kind of looking at the all-time lists, and I realized you can go back and see the top 10 highest-grossing domestic grosses date as of. And so the farthest I could go back was 1982. So can you guess? And I want to try 82. I want to try 90. I want to try 2000. See if you can guess the top 10 highest-grossing movies as of January 1st, 1982.
So
of all time.
Of all time.
Okay.
okay. I was like, I couldn't name a movie off the top of my head. That came
No,
out
just
maybe.
of all time.
Gone with the Wind.
That is there. That is number 5.
Okay, so it's. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess Gone with the Wind.
That is number 5. Good job.
Oh wait, that's number 5.
Yeah, yeah.
It's Avatar is number 1, right?
No. This is
This is
as
in-
of 1982.
In 1980.
So at July 1st, 1982, these are the 10 highest grossing films. Like, if you were back in 1982 going online
Oh,
somehow.
Okay,
you
so
would see
from the
these are-
start of movies through 82.
Right.
Yes.
What is the highest?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
82.
I think.
What do you get? You go.
Star Wars.
Yep, that's number 1.
Okay.
Star Wars is number 1.
New Hope. Yeah.
Okay. Well then, did Return of the Jedi come out yet?
No.
No.
Not in
I was-
82.
No, but you're on the right
But
track.
Empire would be. Right?
Yeah, Empire's number 3.
Okay.
Oh right.
Jaws.
Jaws is number 2.
Okay.
Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones.
I think that's-
actually no. That's it's not on the list yet.
Yeah. When is?
E.T.
No, that's not yet. That's
God.
yeah, that's not on there yet.
82 is such like an
It's
obscure
very
number.
well,
It's
it's
just
the
the
farthest
first
you can
one.
go back.
Yeah.
It's the farthest you could go
Yeah.
back.
I don't know. I'm out on.
So Star Wars, Jaws, Empire Strikes Back, The Exorcist, Gone with the Wind, Grease, The Sound of Music, The Sting, National Lampoon's Animal House, and Superman. And then 11 is Godfather.
Okay. I wouldn't have gotten any of those. I
Yeah.
don't think.
Yeah.
So maybe 1990
Okay.
will be a little better, a little easier, because you got all those 80s movies in there.
Yeah.
All right, so what is number one?
Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
No.
Still Star Wars.
Nope.
Ooh.
It's been surpassed.
Okay.
You mentioned it earlier.
Indiana Jones.
No.
Return of the Jedi?
Nope.
Star Trek.
No, you were closer with Star Wars.
I was closer with Star
You were
Wars, but
closer
it's
with
not
Star
Star
Wars.
Wars and it's not Star Trek.
No.
Interesting.
So is it
Is it?
E.T.?
Yes,
it-
E.T.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, E.T. extraterrestrial at 399 million. What is? And all right, then I'll just do number 2, number 3, Star Wars: Return of the Jedi. Number 4 is Jaws. See if you can guess the last 5.
Okay, so these are all 80s movies?
These are all 80s movies.
Die Hard.
No, not on.
Terminator.
Nope.
Alien.
Nope.
Ooh, Jurassic Park.
No.
That's 91.
Yeah.
91.
One of them
94.
you mentioned earlier. It's not top 5, but you mentioned it earlier.
Star Trek.
No.
Go ahead and tell us, Trey. I think I'm
All right. 5 is Batman. 6 is Raiders of the Lost
interested.
Ark.
Oh, okay.
7 is Ghostbusters. 8 is Beverly Hills Cop. 9 is The Empire Strikes Back. 10 is Back to the Future.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
That's a funny kind of this shift where so many like top grossing movies at a time could have been comedies.
Yeah.
Right.
Whereas like comedies now are like they can be good little cash cows, but they're
Mhm.
not big,
No.
huge.
Yeah, they'll make return on
Events.
investment, but they won't make
Yeah.
huge money.
And like Back to the Future, like that's sort of an action comedy.
Right.
Kind of,
Yeah.
Okay. So as of January 1st, 2000.
Titanic.
Yeah, Titanic.
Yes, Titanic, number 1.
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park is number 5.
Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump, number 6.
Ooh. Toy Story.
That is not on the list.
By 2000,
yeah.
Star Wars Episode 1.
Yep, that is number 3.
Oh, okay. Ooh. Number 3. So that means we're missing number 2.
You've mentioned it earlier. It's been number 1 before.
Oh, okay. So it's
Well,
original Star Wars.
give us the ones that
Okay.
we've named.
So you've mentioned Star Wars, Star Wars Episode 1, E.T., Jurassic Park, Forrest Gump, Return of the Jedi, and Empire Strikes Back. So 2, you need to guess.
We need to guess 2. Okay.
And you know what? Guess 11. Try to guess 11. That's a weird one.
okay. Can you give us a hint?
Ah!
Home Alone.
Yeah.
Christopher
Wow.
Columbus classic.
Yes.
Interesting.
That is
Okay.
number 11.
So 2 we're missing.
Yes.
Give us a less obvious hint for 2.
Jeff Goldblum.
So
That's one of them.
Jurassic
Jurassic
Park.
Park?
No. Well, we already guessed Jurassic Park.
But there's he
Another
was in-
Jeff Goldblum movie.
another Jeff Goldblum movie.
Yeah.
He's in other movies.
Yeah.
The Fly.
No, no, that'd be awesome. though.
It's back.
It's back.
Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah. Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, I give.
Really?
I'm sure once you say it.
Welcome to Earth.
Oh,
Independence
of
Day?
course.
Independence Day.
Of
Okay.
course.
And number 7. Man, what's the best way to do this one?
How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
No. I mean, it makes sense when I tell you.
Is it another Batman movie?
No.
What genre?
It is a cartoon. Let me put that. It is a cartoon. It's
Peter
animated.
Rabbit.
No.
Is it
Peter-
Toy Story?
Nope.
Toy Story 2.
Nope. It's Disney.
Is it
Monsters, Inc.
No. It is 2D.
The Lion King?
Animated. Yep. Lion King.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to do 2010?
Sure.
The last one.
Let's try it.
It's a little easier. All right.
Avatar.
2010 Avatar.
No. Avatar was like 2011.
Oh, was it? Well, then it's still Titanic, right?
Yep. Titanic. What's number 2?
2 is a new one that we haven't gotten.
Yep.
Star Wars Episode 2.
Nope.
3.
Nope. It's not Star Wars.
2010.
Dark Knight.
Yep, Dark Knight.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Number 3, Star Wars again.
But are the other Star Wars on this in the top 10?
Star Wars Episode 1, Phantom Menace.
Phantom Pain.
Phantom
The
Pain.
Pain.
When you
and
lose a limb.
There's another Star Wars on here too. Number 11's Return of the King.
Oh, okay, so is Fellowship on there?
No. Return of the King
I guess
was their highest.
it was the
grossing.
highest grossing. That's right.
I remember like watching the box office on that
Ooh.
when I was a lad. Number 10 is another Star Wars movie though.
Okay, so that's Attack
Episode-
of the Clones.
Are there
Revenge of the Sith.
Are there any others in the top 5 that we don't have yet?
There's one because you have Titanic, The Dark Knight, Star Wars, blank, E.T., Phantom Menace.
Transformers.
No, that's number 9, Revenge of the Fallen. Your number 4, 7, and 8 are new movies.
Okay, so what is? Can you give me?
Number 4 is a sequel.
Can
is
you give
number
me
2.
the year?
Cars 2.
Number 4, let me give you 2004.
Toy Story 2.
Nope.
2004.
The year is 2004.
What am I doing in 2000?
I thought love was only true in
Oh, it's Shrek 2?
Yep.
Oh,
I never thought I got that. I would have not have guessed that.
Yeah. 7 and 8. You want me just to tell you?
yeah. Go ahead.
7 is Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's
Oh, yeah.
Chest, and 8 is Spider-Man.
All right.
Yep. All right. That's
That was
a little,
fun. That was a fun little game.
Yeah.
Fun game.
We'll play it again in 10 years.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's do Black Panther.
Yeah, Black Panther. So I guess we'll start off with that no spoiler version,
Mhm.
and then we'll make a spoiler announcement part of the way into it. What did you guys think of Ryan Coogler's Black Panther?
I really liked it. I saw it at the Alamo, and beforehand, they always do those little pre-videos. And one of the things they did was like a brief history of Black Panther comics,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of
didn't see
walked
that.
you through, like the origins of when he first appeared, some of his biggest battles, added a lot of context to his character.
Man, that's really cool.
So it was really neat to have that watching the movie.
Yeah.
Because they talk about Killmonger, kind of how he was introduced in the comics,
Mm-hmm.
a bunch of different stuff. So it was a cool context.
Yeah, Alamo Drafthouse is super great. Those pre-movie videos that they do are always really good.
That
They
would be
add
insanely helpful when you just don't know the source material. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even like when I went to go see Phantom Thread, they had a whole thing about like interesting things that Paul Thomas Anderson does.
Okay.
And so
Yeah.
it's like, okay, well, I'll watch for these things that
Mhm.
happen in all these Paul Thomas
I
Anderson
need to
movies.
see more movies at Alamo Drafthouse.
Yeah.
It's not even close, I think, as
Yeah.
far as movie experience
Okay.
goes.
Yeah. It's awesome. And the movie was great. I really liked it. It felt a lot less. It wasn't so cookie cutter. There was some things that it's a superhero movie.
You're gonna have a bad
gonna get
guy. You're
over
gonna
it.
have a the character kind of falling and then rising back up. You're gonna have all that. But yeah.
But overall, I thought it was really cool.
Mhm.
Cool, just really inventive as far as they're in a universe where anything is possible, and I thought they made some cool choices.
Yeah, I thought it was a really beautiful looking movie. I kept watching like, man, they need to make more movies set in Africa because that is just a beautiful country. Just like the scenery and all the animals running around. I thought it was a really good looking movie. I really liked sort of the villain and how the villain was like, you could kind of root for him, even though his methods were way out there. He was still right.
Yeah.
And I thought Michael B. Jordan did a really good job.
So
as
good.
being the villain.
I think that's the biggest difference
Mhm.
in this movie and other ones is that you have a good villain, especially with
Andy Serkis.
origin story
Mhm.
movies. Is a lot of times that you spend a ton of time on the origin story, and then by the time you get to the villain, there's not so much time to develop it, so it's just
Yeah.
kind of thrown in. If you think about the best superhero movies, I would say the Batman ones All right, and I think a huge part of that is because Ra's al Ghul, the Joker, and Bane are all very, very good, developed villains.
Yeah. Batman has the best villains, hands down.
So, and there's not really, I don't know, can you guys name
I was just
any
thinking
other
about that.
Marvel villains?
Loki. Loki's probably the only one. Yeah.
And then I can name some Spider-Man ones.
Yeah,
you know,
Sandman, classic Sandman.
Right,
Sandman.
Doc Ock and
and those were good.
Green Goblin,
and
stuff like that. And so like Spider-Man, those were generally considered some of the better,
especially Sandman
ones, of course.
No, like
Denton's
Iron
own
Man,
Thomas Hayden Church.
I don't even remember the name of the first Iron Man villain. I couldn't tell you.
I don't. It's just
It was-
a bigger Iron Man suit, right?
Oh, wasn't he? God, wasn't that from the wrestler? What's his name?
Mickey Rourke was Iron
that
Man
was
2.
That was 2. Then
Yeah.
yes,
First one
I don't
was-
remember the first one. Then
The first one, is it like Nick Nolte?
No,
or something?
no. It's oh my God, why am I forgetting the name? No, it's the dude, Jeff Bridges.
Jeff Bridges.
Jeff Bridges.
Yes.
yeah, I don't even remember.
Evil Jeff Bridges.
Yeah.
Does that really make sense?
And so this movie has a strong villain who is not just getting a super weapon or trying to blow. Because that's another thing, is the stakes are always enormous. And the stakes are pretty high in this.
Yeah.
But
it's more about their society than the world, you know. It's,
right.
And yeah, I thought it was just, I think the juxtaposition of Michael B. Jordan to this sort of, this society where they speak very properly. Then you got Michael B. Jordan there talking like he's from New York. You know, I thought that was fun.
Yeah.
He spoke the truth. It's like, well, this guy has a point. Like, this society is, you know, you think of the history of the black man, and they've gone through pain and strife and struggles, and this society is just relaxing there. And like the whole movie, I'm thinking, like, wait a minute, what are these guys doing?
Right.
And then, okay. This makes sense.
Like his critiques are all warranted.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just the battle is between, you know, like acknowledging these critiques, but how do you address the issue? Do you do it like, because there's two ways to do it. One way is obviously a little bit more radical and maybe not the right choice. One is more, what's the word I'm looking for? Diplomatic.
Sure.
Right. But it's also I mean, I don't know. I don't want to necessarily go into spoiler alerts, so I won't specifically do anything. But Black Panther learns. He learns from the villain because the villain makes a good point.
Yes.
Essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like
he offers to save him at the end. Like, hey, we can still. I guess I'm going to spoilers now. He's like, we can. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I mean, we can cut that, or I don't know.
Just add a spoiler.
Spoiler. No, like, he kind of says at the end, like, hey, you know, maybe we can make this all right. And I thought that was really cool. I think the exploration of the society was really cool. However, the makeup, I don't know if that was all makeup too. I don't know, like the guy with the thing in his lip. I don't know if that was makeup or a real.
I bet that's makeup.
Makeup,
yeah, I would imagine. He was cool though.
Yeah,
he always had the suit to match his lip plate. First time it catches you off guard, and then you start to like, oh, this guy does this all the time. It's pretty sweet.
The costumes are great. I think the cinematography was amazing. A lot of the shots were really cool. When they kind of go into that afterlife area was really neat, I thought.
Yeah, that was pretty.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
It was just a very good-looking movie.
Yeah, and the fact, this is kind of a spoiler, but the afterlife area that they enter into, it's not the same for everybody.
No.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I would say a lot of it looks really good. There are points. I wonder how much money went into this movie, because the CGI, especially in that final fight, looks like Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, it's
where they're like falling and fighting. It doesn't look super great.
No.
Right,
and
it's a crazy idea to have falling fighting.
Right. And then there's also the scene in the casino where they go and they throw the money up at the end, and it looks like a freaking screensaver.
Yeah.
The money looks so bad.
Yeah, the CGI was not good, and it was very noticeable at parts where it's just like, ugh.
Because there's a ton of good stuff. There's some stuff with the vibranium where it's like the sand and it moves around and stuff, and that looks really cool. But there's just some places where it's like,
it's
really
weird.
That's the best.
It's like they must have had like different companies or like different crews, I guess, working, because there are instances where the CGI is really good.
Yeah.
Like all the fight scenes, like in the water, I thought, like the little like duels against T'Challa, I thought they were pretty good. Like it's not as in your face, obviously, like just like bad. So it was weird that there are it wasn't consistent.
That being said, I don't think it's a like perfect movie.
No,
I think it's really good through the lens of it's good for a superhero movie.
It definitely hits those tropes of a Marvel movie. Like I never felt like I wasn't watching a superhero movie. It definitely felt like a superhero movie.
Yeah,
which is it's what it is. It's a Marvel movie. You know,
like the oh god, there's a lot of just like jokes.
Yeah, trying to be funny.
And I felt like there was not that many of them.
There was not a ton of them, but the ones that there were stuck out. It's like such a sore thumb. Like there's the whole sequence with the shoes, which is the "what are those" joke.
Yeah.
Well,
which is like an ancient meme. So it's crazy that they're like, yeah, we're gonna put this in the movie.
Right.
And then she's talking about the shoes, about how they're completely silent. I'm gonna call them sneakers. Like they did like this whole sequence about the shoes, because I don't know if this is tying back to the comics, and this is a big thing in the comics that he has these sneakers that are silent, because there are also several instances throughout the movie where you hear his footsteps as he's running, just because they wanted to put in some jokes. And then there's like the big moment when they're with the mountain tribe,
right?
And they're like having a sentimental moment.
They're pretty badass.
I just feel like I get kind of worn out when there are all the instances of, oh, we have to insert joke here to break up the tension, like are you guys done yet? Like I don't need that.
It's when it's the joke that kind of fizzles out the kind of the brevity of the scene.
Right, it's a diffuser.
Yeah. It's sort of like the whole at the beginning of The Last Jedi, where he's like, "Oh, I can't hear you. What's going on?" It kind of diffuses.
I feel this movie didn't do that as much as other, like especially Thor Ragnarok, which it was at every turn. They were undercutting everything.
I didn't see that, so I don't have the comparison.
It's definitely not as much as that.
And even Star Wars, where there's just so much. And I guess the last Marvel movies I had seen were Guardians of the Galaxy 2 and Thor Ragnarok.
That kind of humor's in all
right.
of it.
Yeah, and I know because Iron Man's snarky and everybody's kind of funny. I did like that in this one. Black Panther is pretty serious. I think he's almost I don't want to say a lesser character than everyone else, but he is definitely lesser than other superhero movies where things are so centrally focused.
Right. They focus a lot on the like all the ancillary characters, which were all really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, which you can only do that when you have talented actors and interesting characters. Like all the Lupita's character is cool, but whoever the general was of like the female armor, she was kick ass. Like she was really good. And then obviously his sister was pretty cool. She was like the ludicrous character.
Right. Yeah.
With all the tech.
The Q of that world. Yeah. Martin Freeman with the American accent was really crazy.
Is that unsettling?
Unsettling.
Yeah.
He needs to be a bumbling British boy, not a, hey, I'm from New Jersey here.
Yeah. It would have been interesting if he brought his like Fargo accent.
Yeah. I can even do Freeman with Fargo.
Right.
He needs to be bumbling. He can't be serious guy, you know? Yeah. I need my Martin Freeman very schlubby.
Yeah.
I need to relate to my Martin Freemans.
I forgot
he was fine though.
to bring this up with the shoes thing. Was there like audible gasp when the shoes went on his feet?
No, does your theater have a gasp?
My theater, it was a bunch. It was a bunch of. It was like there was a lot of times where there was like women like to a bunch of stuff that like the women said.
Yeah.
And then
I heard a lot of every time like Black Panther was saying something to the girl that he liked. I hear like, damn, a lot of that. It was fun. It was fun though.
No, it was definitely a fun atmosphere.
Yeah.
But when the shoes, his sneakers went on his feet for the first time, and they reveal it, and they look like and there's just like audible, like bassy, so it's like all dudes were just like, whoa, like
Kirk was like, I gotta get those.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of sneakerheads in my audience.
Gosh, could you imagine if that went on and they were just like Yeezys or something, just some ridiculous looking sneaker?
Do we want to go full spoiler?
Sure.
All right, full spoilers from this point forward.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that Michael B. Jordan's character, I think it's interesting the fact that they have the character who is fighting to do something, be the bad
Yeah,
character.
and I felt like it was, it's like one of those, like, I'm a white man. I don't know, like, the whole Spike Lee thing with the do the right thing. Like, all white people thought he did the right thing or didn't do the right thing.
Right.
And it's sort of like that where it's like, oh, well, you're right. We do need to be more diplomatic. Well, maybe, I don't know. Like, I don't exactly know, like, if, where that kind of falls, the Michael B. Jordan's whole idea, like, is that maybe the right thing to do, or is it the wrong thing because we don't want to be, do you have done to us what we've done to others?
I think that's kind of the general thing, but it's also that Wakanda wasn't helping anyone,
right?
And they had the capability,
right. So, sorry, I interrupted you.
No, it's a thing where he kind of had the right idea, but took it too far to a place where it would, spark wars all around the world, which I think generally
probably not
not going to be the best thing. Now, I could definitely see some people
saying that,
being like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to have a Killmonger doctrine or whatever." But
I'm sure there are people that definitely 100% are like that should have been the main character.
Yeah, I think what the thing is, like, without that those radical ideas, you're not going to get the more pacifist people to do anything.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's you need both of those, and you need to find kind of the right balance, but you need both of them.
I mean, it's Malcolm and Martin.
Yeah.
Essentially, without.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly what I was thinking. Is like because, that's
what they're supposed to be and do the right thing.
Yeah, definitely.
That being said, for all that, I don't think it was that political of a movie.
Not at all.
No.
Which I know some people are like, oh, all this politics in these movies.
There's politics in every movie, though. Like every Marvel movie, there's politics.
This is way, way less political than like an X-Men movie.
Yeah.
And, And when you look at one of the big things that they talked about in the Alamo kind of like story of Black Panther is it's a very political comic. Like there's a series called Black Panther Enter the Supremacists, where he goes up against white supremacist superheroes who are like going around and like enslaving and like demeaning like African nations. And then there's a story of there was a Black Panther writer who was told basically by like Marvel execs like, hey, we need more white characters in these comics. So he wrote in a story where he goes up and beats the Ku Klux Klan. So like, these are your white characters.
Right.
They're racist, and he's kicking their ass.
Nice.
And so like, yeah, the whole thing is very political. So I mean, like, this is tame by the Black Panther comic books standards.
I also think that as far as the so there's the part in Oakland where they start off and then they end in Oakland as well with them, spreading all the stuff with vibranium, and it's kind of like a vibranium ex machina. So they have this
right
suit. Like, I think the idea behind vibranium is that it's like, hey, it's what Captain America's shield is made out of, but now it can also heal people's wounds, and then it can do anything that
you want it to.
Right now, are they saying it's solely the metal doing this, or is it the technology, like the things that this metal is capable of?
Right. That's what it is.
It's you're literally just playing with like a god. Like you can do anything.
Right. Exactly. I did find it weird that Wakanda you don't really see a ton of.
Well, you just kind of see that main city, and then you see all these other tribes, but
you don't really like, you see wide shots of the city, and then it's kind of like the throne room, and then her lab,
and then there's a couple of like the farms,
right, on the outside,
on the outskirts, and then there's like a couple of like street scenes,
right?
But yeah, they don't really play around with actual Wakanda very much.
Inside of it.
Yeah.
I liked the casino scene a lot. That reminded me a lot of James Bond.
Sure.
The it's Skyfall when he goes and he has the pit, and then the gun that only unlocks to his palm print. It is. I'm not asking, I'm telling. But yeah, it reminded me a lot of that scene. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm going back and I'm looking. I started thinking about this when you mentioned how political it is, and if you had to guess if you've already seen it, you can say you've already seen it, but like what the critics' Rotten Tomatoes was and what the audience Rotten Tomatoes was, and how you think that compares to the average the MCU movie.
The critics is about like 99.
I think it's like 97 or something, right?
Yeah, it's 97.
I bet you the audience is like 70 something.
Yeah. The audience is 77.
Okay.
Which is it just seems like it's like white people who are sad that it's not another movie for them.
Yeah, that's what it is. And there's been there was stories before about how white nationalist groups were gonna take over Rotten Tomatoes and sink the audience score on purpose.
Right. Which is insane.
It's so stupid.
Mm-hmm. Nice work. It's the 5th highest grossing movie of all time. So up yours, white nationalists.
Right.
But like that's on par with like The Incredible Hulk with Ed Norton and Iron Man 2.
Ugh.
The first Thor got pretty bad reviews both ways, like in the 70s. But it's also kind of funny.
I like Edward Norton. So
like there was it's now there are no Marvel movies that get less than like 80% like critic scores because of all the kind of like shady dealings of Disney
pressure.
Yeah.
You think that's what it is?
It definitely is.
Yeah.
They don't let people into like review their movies
if they give them critical reviews, essentially.
Yeah.
I think the movie it starts off well. There's the whole claw thing. It really picks up once the Michael B. Jordan stuff
and he doesn't
goes into action.
Because I kept hearing reviews, and I guess it just went. I guess the movie didn't drag for you because it went by pretty quickly. But like people were saying that he didn't show up till halfway through. It seemed like he showed up a little sooner than halfway through, but maybe
his first introduction is early on.
Yeah,
but then he goes away for
a while,
quite a while, so they can kind of establish the fight for. Another thing I saw was they're in this technologically advanced society, and they're still gonna have them fight for who becomes king. It's like.
Well, it's tradition, right?
Well, one, it's tradition. Two, like, we're gonna have a debate scene.
Yeah,
right.
Like, what do you want them to do? It's a movie, where it's a superhero.
Yeah, you need
movie.
action, and there wasn't that much action in this. Like, I didn't think there was like
there are
per capita humongous action, big scenes. I mean, there was like the casino, and then the car chase. There was the fight at the beginning. There was that fight in the middle, and then there was like kind of the battle at the end.
Well, it's not. It's also not a movie with 8 superheroes against one.
Right, exactly.
And undefeatable.
But I mean, I was fine with that. Like, it was definitely a more personal story for this king. But
yeah, what did you guys think of all of Michael B. Jordan's nips?
Many nips
covered in nipples.
I wanted to. Daddy wants some milk.
Like I just wanted to rub my fingers across it and just feel them all.
How do you guys feel about that Black Panther suit? Because I think it definitely lowers the excitement for like the car chase scene
when he can just take any amount of damage.
Bullets can hit him and he's fine. Like that's all they have to fight against him.
Yeah,
and that's another thing that I don't like about Marvel movies. It's just they're all so super powerful that it's like, well, who's gonna be able to win?
Yeah, it's a little takes you out of it a little bit, knowing like he's gonna take any damage, and the fact that he's taking damage gives him more powers.
Right, exactly. Not only is he not being hurt, you are giving him an advantage that he will use at a later point.
Right. It makes me think like I'm fine with it because cool, you're gonna have whatever the best technology you want. The issue that the biggest issue I have with it is if and when he's ganging forming up with the Avengers. Like, dude, his suit is way better than anyone else's now.
Right.
So why are they not all wearing this suit?
Yeah.
Why does Captain America no, just my shield? Like, you could have a whole vibranium suit that deflects bullets, does everything your stupid shield does, and you can still carry your shield if you want.
Yeah.
That's just like suspend your disbelief, whatever. It's
right.
Superheroes, and I won't see the Avengers movies anyways. So,
you're not even gonna go see Infinity War?
No.
Not even out of curiosity to see how they're gonna fit 40 characters, just one after the other.
It's gotten to a point where I've not seen any of them, so it's just like I'm not gonna bother. I know I won't enjoy it, and there's nothing. It's not one of the things where it's like it'll be bad, so I'll enjoy it.
Mm.
Or I can't imagine there'll be much for me to enjoy in that movie.
I wasn't totally in love with the ending of Black Panther. They kind of just devolve to a fight where she decides that she's going to stick by Killmonger because she has to, because her job is to protect the king.
Yeah.
And then it's like, so then she switches, and then Daniel Kaluuya is there, and he's like, no, I'm going to fight for him. And then she's like, oh, are you really going to kill me, my love? And then he switches. It's like
that last switch is like BS.
Right. Exactly.
No, you clearly said that, like, you made up your mind.
Right. And he had planted the seeds earlier of being like kind of not totally happy with the way that things were going.
Which even then, that's a big like hole for me, because Chadwick or T'Challa.
Yeah.
Can just be like, dude, I had him. The only reason I wasn't able to bring him back is, one, because you told me to bring him back alive, which Michael B. Jordan did not do, and you're fine with that.
Uh-huh.
Two, or it's Killmonger.
Yeah.
Two, it's only because Killmonger busted him out. I had him, like, I could have brought him back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that just takes 5 minutes of explanation.
Right.
Like, this is the only reason I didn't bring him back is because I was bringing him back alive, and Killmonger killed him.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, problem solved.
Right.
But no, they got to fight.
Another thing that I thought was kind of interesting and sort of weird was, so they established that they have the drink to take away the power of the flower.
Yeah, the heart-shaped flower.
Right. But he already had the heart-shaped flower power, even though he wasn't king yet.
Yes. So I think that's like, because he was already running around and doing Black Panther stuff.
Right.
So he didn't have king. He wasn't king. He didn't have the authority over.
He was
Wakanda, but he was powerful because he was of the lineage, I guess.
Right. But then that kind of makes the scene in the afterlife, because does he go through that process?
Right. Yeah.
It's kind of a thing where, he already has to be Black Panther because we saw him in this movie before, so he already needed to have his powers, but then we kind of need to explain how he got his powers, and we don't want. So we'll kind of just take away his power, and then we'll give it back to him.
Which is kind of silly, because they could have just set this, I guess, before.
I think it could have.
But I feel like this is set, like, this has to be set, like, pretty far in the future because of how old Forrest Whitaker looked in 1992 versus how he looked whenever this was.
Yeah.
Like, that's not 20 years,
Did you
30 years.
That's his son. The guy who played.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Like Daniel Whitaker or something like
That's
that.
fun. That's pretty cool. I did not know that.
They have the same droopy eye.
Yeah. I was going to say, he's doing that Forrest Whitaker really well.
Yeah.
And then did Chadwick Boseman also play the young T'Chaka? It looks so much like him.
His dad?
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
Okay.
But yeah, that was interesting.
And then old T'Chaka had one eye that did not blink.
Right.
Which was like...
But Trey, any last thoughts on Black Panther?
Enjoyable. I mean, it's definitely a Marvel movie, but it was fun. It was a very interesting look. It was something you don't usually see a lot, I don't think, in movies. Is really African. I know it's fictional, but like kind of an African culture, kind of Africa in general. You don't see that much in movies anymore, I don't think.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool to see. Yeah, it was fun to watch.
I'm glad that people were excited about it and that people should be represented.
Yeah. I mean, I saw a lot of kids, like little, a lot of black kids in like Black Panther masks. So it was pretty cool to see that,
Yeah. And I think it was done with like total respect for like African culture and everything. From what I can tell, it seemed to be, it wasn't exploitative or anything. It was, this is a movie that is just, something we don't get usually, which is pretty cool to see more representation.
I'm very down for Ryan Coogler.
Yeah.
Fruitvale Station was super good. Creed, I loved.
Yeah.
This is pretty good. Michael B. Jordan's and everything he's done. Apparently next he wants to do something, the story about the richest man in the history of the world who was an African man.
Be cool.
I don't know a ton about the story, but I read that, so that's kind of seems interesting. I feel like this movie didn't have any of kind of like the shots like Creed had, where it was just like the one shot boxing match where everything is kind of super raw and
there's
dirty.
A template you kind of have to follow.
Yeah, but
can't go out too far.
I still think he does a really good job with his actors.
Yeah,
and I think all the performances were really good. So what would you guys rate it?
Out of 200 Michael B. Jordan nips.
Ooh, okay.
I give it, how's about a 160 out of 200 Michael B. Jordan nips?
I'm going to give it 169 because I like the number 69.
Very nice. Yeah, I think I'd give it like a 165 out of 200.
Yeah.
It's like a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, that's what I was shooting for.
All right. Well, hey, do we have recommendations, I guess? We haven't done those yet.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to say watch Fury.
Fury?
If you like military movies, it's pretty cool.
Okay. Adam, since you had me watch Split, I'm going to have you watch Unbreakable.
Okay.
Have you seen Unbreakable?
No, but I'd be down to watch that.
Right. Yeah.
I haven't seen Split, though.
I mean, you don't need to see one or the other. I mean, Unbreakable, you can watch Unbreakable without seeing Split.
Cool.
100%. Yeah. Cool.
Trey, I'm going to suggest, have you seen Naked Gun?
No.
I'm going to suggest you watch Naked Gun. And Spencer, I'm going to give you Capote.
Oh, cool.
That's
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah, Philip Seymour
really
Hoffman. That's Amazon Prime, I believe.
Cool. And that's like as he's writing in Cold Blood, right?
Yes.
Yes.
That's what it's about.
He's interviewing the guy. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, it's a good one. I remember watching that in school. That is Super FilmsCast 64 for another week. Thank you so much for joining us. Adam and Spencer, where can we find you guys in the world?
I'm at Coach Chucky.
Yeah.
And I've got my improv level 1 comedy showcase this Sunday at 3 p.m. Dallas Comedy House.
This is your last week of improv.
Yeah.
Forever.
And then I'm saying I've already reached
Mastered
my peak.
it.
Mhm.
Yes.
Done with
He's
this.
the master. He doesn't need to take any more classes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
King of comedy.
I'm at the Fullerton if you want to see me retweet other funny things.
Yeah, you retweet things. You find me at Trey Vids and go to my YouTube channel, Trey1310. I sometimes post stuff there, maybe eventually one day. Hopefully. You can just look at my website if you ever want to hire me for anything, TreyTMitchell.com. Look at my stuff and hire me. Get me out of this hellhole. So yeah, please
Please
like,
save our
subscribe.
friend Trey.
No. Please like, comment, subscribe, and all that. And thank you for listening.